Hey, what's up, YouTube? If you're watching this, yeah, hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. I stream on Twitch, sometimes at night, sometimes in the day. Who the fuck knows? Today I need to bring up your mans. Need to bring up your boy. Need to bring up your dude. Destiny. What's going on here, brother? So, for those of you who don't know, I am unfamiliar with Destiny because literally I never heard of him until like I became terminally online. And I heard about him through Vosh, and these two creators seem to have this like battle going on. I don't know what's going on. They're just the top tier debate guys who they exist in their own ecosystems. I didn't give a shit. I liked Hassan Piker. Like I wanted to create content. I didn't want to sit and watch people um I and it goes back to what I was also probably saying during a panel that I was on recently, where I didn't vibe with people who didn't look like me. Like, I didn't like there was no need for me to go out of my way to look at these people, see what they were saying on Twitter, see what type of content they were creating. That just was unnecessary to me, and I had no desire to do so. But what ended up happening is throughout the course of, my career and paradigm shift and etc., I ended up getting on a panel with him. And I was like, "Hey dude, like I actually like your content, it's so cool that you're here." And then like this has happened before, I guess, in some form or fashion in my head. I've seen it somewhere around. But like I generally consider Destiny the objectional take. The all right, that's the guy. Like he's just gonna say the thing and it's over. Apparently there's a history of what we're about to cover today, and I was unaware of that until today. Ladies and gentlemen, I already made a segment saying why we shouldn't give immaturity power against women online. Consider this an extension of that piece. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my YouTube channel and go check that one out because that shit is bomb too. Every segment is bomb. He's got an episode for that, of course. Of course. Of course. There's always an episode for that. So my man Vin Diesel is chilling here. And he wanna know who Destiny is. So my man Vin, you're gonna be on my YouTube channel. We're gonna talk about this, because this is going to lead into a conversation on why these people have such weird ass ideas that become dominant discourse. You left this out there like to say a lot of shit about how the right controls discourse or whatever, and like we have to talk about the insane ideas that the right brings up and treat them as validated when it's just easy to call them stupid, racist, or Nazis. But have you ever noticed what especially the online existence of this movement looks like? This is like pattern discourse, where we will talk about the most, and we're going to get into that, but we talk about the most insignificant things and then make them debate topics so we can get a bunch of people on a panel and then watch them all go at it and then talk about that. And it cycles and repeats. Bro, we are not a fucking television show. At least that's not what I can be. I mean, I am the Paradigm Shift Live. But like, I would prefer to sit and talk to somebody, even if I disagreed with them, at least to I'm not there's so much we got to get into, but then I'm sorry. I know you got to go film Fast 10. Um let's get into it. The Omni-Liberal. For those of you who don't know, the Omni-Liberal is Destiny. His banner is called Together We Can Make a Change. I guess this is a joke. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Anyway, we're going to scroll down, scroll up a little. Trigger warning, 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 trigger warning. I don't have to add it because like the whole video's point is like if you didn't know what was going on, then you already would like, so but then we're gonna do it anyway because that's what we do. We're gonna cover that. Yeah, we're gonna cover that. We're gonna cover that. I've only seen clips as well. That's the thing I'm gonna cover. And if you think I'm joking, it's if you think I'm joking. Oh wait, you said yeah. Gonna cover it. Don't worry, I got y'all. So she did. They changed it. Oh, she her. Okay. She changed her name to Destiny as a piss baby. Beautiful. So this woman, lady, this girl, said a dude slipped his condom off during sex after I asked him to wear one this week. This is known as stealthing. Yes, a lot of these things are obvious, but let's do this for the people who are just finding out about this and want to know what the hell is going on. This is a technique known as stealthing, and I say technique as in it's pretty much coercible sexual assault and or rape, depending on how you view the definition of these things and your laws in your country. They are not the same across the world. They should be, but God knows why they aren't. Don't do this. This is not an action that we like. This is not an action that we, and it's been bothering me. But I was too awkward to say anything. Not even the first time this has happened. Stop doing this, men. So, this clearly is a problem. This is not a take. This is somebody with their experience saying something that bothers them, and they clearly froze up in the moment, as most people probably would and have, and were unable to process it, and they decided to speak about it. Simple as that. Mind Waves TV, another person I've never known about. If you knew he took off the condom and you couldn't even bring yourself to say anything, you shouldn't be having casual sex. Okay. Straight up victim blaming. But I want to explain this to you as opposed to me worrying about you being able to say that this doesn't mean what it means, because I'm going to tell you how it reads. And I think this goes yet again back to the Sonsol conversation, back to the Doomer Media conversation. You don't have to do this. There's nothing compelling you to do this. If you knew he took off the condom, first, nothing in this denotes that this was happening during. See how easy that was? So she found out that he did it probably because he had it in the garbage, or she might have turned around and they were getting dressed and she noticed that it was sitting on the bed, and she knows that he didn't throw it over her head or something. There's a whole reason thing, whatever. And you couldn't even bring yourself to say anything. Great. So women freezing up in the middle of things is perfectly not a thing that happens. But let alone, this again goes back to the entire identity of what I was saying with Gideon. Somehow, men have the ability in their heads to think that whenever a woman says anything about an issue that is widespread amongst men, it must be the women. I don't get how you're not catching the correlation here. Now, we could spin this even further down and say, well, based on what I'm seeing, based on what I'm seeing, these are all white presenting people. These are all light skin these are all, I wouldn't have the privilege of even having the callback to that. That would have been a whole thing. That would have been a whole cancel, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this right here is abhorrent. And it's abhorrent for a few reasons, but the main reason is because I still can't believe people like this openly say this. I'm okay with it being under the rug, in the realm that you wouldn't directly attack people with it online. You would just do it in person and they'd smack you. You'd get your just desserts right then and there, if that makes sense. But now it's eking on into the online atmosphere. You shouldn't be having casual sex. This does not denote casual sex. This could have been the start of a relationship. You imbued this entire message of somebody explaining their sexual assault to somebody, to the world. And you imbued it with these negative tones that puts all the pressure on her. What do we call that in a world that we live in? Victim blaming. right? Should be easy. Should be easy. So my man Destiny retweeted that. Why would you retweet that?
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Retweets are not endorsements. But you're lying because even if you didn't agree with it, you agreed with the sentiment it read off. So there's no way that you didn't mean for it to read as it read, because even if you were to extrapolate the meaning that he's about to try to extrapolate from it, this person didn't mean it that way. And you should be smart enough to figure that out. Hot take from the guy who said trans people not disclosing their genitals is rape. Taking off your condom mid sex without disclosing that is A-okay. Murr said it. I guess what I don't understand is the automatic assumption she knew when it was happening. Like she could have realized afterwards. It felt too awkward to bring it up. This happened to me, and I didn't know until the guy admitted it to me afterwards. Like there's a whole. I'm not even trying to have the obvious like humane take here. I'm really not, because what's frustrating me is that these people continue to run these spaces, run this discourse, run their mouths, and it's just like, why? Why? Why do I have to be the one who talks about all these issues and trauma and pain and shit? And you, with the big ass audience, just get to run your fucking mouth. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you gain power with that type of mentality. If you are engaged in sexual activity with someone and you have a surprise set of genitals, you are engaging in sexual activity with someone that they didn't give informed consent to, which is rape. That is not true. But, bro, you told me you had a big dick. You told me you had a big dick. And it was small. You told me it was going to make me orgasm. You did not. This is rape. And do you see why, like, I don't want to talk about this? Do you see how, like, agree? Yo, I remember. Nah. We're going to make this fucking personal. We're going to make this fucking personal. We're going to make this fucking personal. Fuck it. Vin, my brother Vin. Let's talk for a real quick second. I remember my first girlfriend. I remember us having an argument outside the Costco that was near my house. Now, she started this argument, and she's railing on me. And I ended up realizing while she was talking that she was talking about something that didn't happen with me. In the realm that I can't go through the whole situation, but like I wasn't the target of what she was really thinking about. So we hashing it out. And we decide like maybe we should hug. But she's very emotional. She cries at everything. I don't know if she still do this, but she cry at everything. Like, I mean, if her juice spilt on the ground, and we're talking grown ass girl, like she's 18, I was 18. Like, if it fell on the floor, she would cry. She cried everything. She used to cry when she got too loud for herself. Like, she would hear herself like screaming about something and then start crying. Like it was one of them. But it was like whatever. Like she was still cute. Like, it was cute. It was cute. But when we went to go hug, we hugged tight because like we really felt like we was like, all right, let's calm down, let's get it. And the security guard came up to me and pulled us apart and saw her crying and was like, "What's going on here? What's going on here? What's happening? What's going on here?" Do you all think crying is still? See, this is why I shouldn't read the chat. Sorry. It is. It is. We'll get into it. We got. Swear to God. I swear to God. After this, we'll get into it. I gotta stay on topic. Sorry. We'll get into it. Yo, I got a clip for that. Look at my popular clips. I think it's like the very first one. I'm a man who cries. Like, yo, I got clips for that. Y'all. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. I'm trying to be happy, and my chat is talking, so I'm trying to pay attention to that. He's got an episode about that catchphrase. I've been crying all week, felt that mood. Anyway, the security guard pulled us apart and he saw her crying and he was like, I know like guys like you, I know who people like you are. You like to abuse women. You like to hurt women. And I'm sitting here like, do you know what we're talking about? Do you know what's going on? Like you didn't hear anything of this conversation. So how are you extrapolating this? Because I'm not crying and she is. Like she worked herself up. She was saying that to you as you were approaching me. But this security guard started putting his hands on me, started grabbing me up. My teacher was across the street going, what the hell is going on? She's like, I just saw y'all was balking at each other earlier. Did you clear that up? Like type shit. And he was so set on like, you're a woman of, yes, she was. I mean, she was white presenting. She's Puerto Rican and she's Puerto Rican and something else. I forgot what it is. But yeah, she was white presenting. Yeah, like there's a whole see there's nothing that ever escapes. There's nothing that ever escapes this realm. Like even I never analyzed that for the sake of analyzing that. I was just telling that story because like it gets me upset when like people like openly promote this shit. But like look at my life. My first experience with like you have a white presenting girlfriend. You're a real dark skinned big. I was big, but I mean I'm big now, but like I was hefty but baggy, you know, one of them dudes. You must be threatening her. You like to abuse women. Like, whoa. Whoa. It is, yeah. Yeah. Literally. Whoa. 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 Like, but anyway. But anyway. That's why it's frustrating me to even talk about this. I really like trans individuals. That's how I know I'm cis. I like women. Um I'm still exploring that at my age. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can explore it whenever. You can be 74 and decide you're bi, like it happens. But anyway, like I see trans women as just women, so I never have this take in my head. So this is fucked up. Like, if they have a different surprise set of genitals, were you only going there to fuck a hole? Because I promise you, there's still a hole. Yo, men get me so tight, bro. Like, how you have this take and then ever suggest anal to a girl? Like, you're. If you, oh yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that's that. If you are noticing again, what Murr said, if you are noticing this wasn't a thing that was noticed, someone is taking a condom off and you can't say anything. You probably don't have the emotional maturity to engage in sex. You should just grab a caretaker or something and stick to masturbating to furry porn. Sorry. All right. So yeah, if you're a woman who freezes up with agency when you're having sex, um don't fuck. Even though what a fucking dweeb, yo. Fucking dweeb. Sorry, I want to apologize for my last tweet. You should treat every single woman you come across like a child who's incapable of voicing an opinion about literally anything. Ideally, you would bring her dad along to every so he can guide her through the process. You see what I mean? You see what I mean about like you could have just left it there and you didn't have to double down, triple down. I feel like I've said that multiple times this week. Why do these motherfuckers double down? Why do they triple down? Why do they do these things that make like people feel uncomfortable? Why? And it's just like fuck the trolling shit. Like you know you have people in your community that have talked about this and like you just make so much fun of it. And it's like, why? Why, son? Why? Why? And then that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. We're talking about a sexual assault situation versus her deciding what popcorn. So I've dated somebody who couldn't decide what to eat at the store. Should I have just like dipped on it? Like she literally said, "I hate this word. Y'all don't even use literally any like anymore." Um, She literally said it felt awkward to watch a guy stealth her. She didn't say that. See, now it'd be easy for to say, oh, I misread that tweet based on the tweet I retweeted, and all of my opinions have been garbage from this point on. They're still up 22 hours later. 22 hours later. Now they're enshrined in the Paradigm Hall of Fame. So, like, or we should say Wall of Shame. So let's, shift a paradigm or two. Just voice an opinion. Have a little bit of agency over your life. You don't have to be a victim all the time, and you sure as fuck can't expect to be treated like an adult if you won't act like one. Homie. Vince. You see this? This not family, bro. This not family, bro. I'm not even gonna worry. Nothing Destiny or Mindwave said has to do with the dude. What he did was fucked up, of course. What they're saying is that if you get into a shitty situation, you don't have the ability to communicate your discomfort, you probably shouldn't be having casuals. Like, and then he retweeted that as if it didn't switch the gear right in the middle of it. Follow this train of thought with me. Nothing Destiny or Mindwave said has to do with the dude. First problem. That's the point. That you're saying, I'm not victim blaming, but then literally say, like, we're not talking about him though, we're talking about her. What he did was fucked up, of course. What they're saying is that if you get into a shitty situation and you don't have the ability to communicate your discomfort, so you're in a shitty situation and you don't have the ability to communicate discomfort, that's in any situation, you probably shouldn't be going into those situations, even though there's only one specific situation they're talking about. And of course it comes from a dude. A black dude. Like, come on. Oh my God, that's gonna be on the panel. Sorry guys, I have to save that part for the panel. Like, we're talking about black men and abuse. Like, we're really, and like the language of our parents and how we viewed their relationships in the midst of the civil rights era. Like, it goes so fucking deep. Anyway. Ding ding ding, shut the fuck up. Awkward basically just means weird. It's almost like people can feel weird about being suddenly sexually assaulted and can freeze up, and that doesn't make them immature. If this is your reaction multiple times, then stop having casual sex. Why would you subject yourself to potential that happen just because you feel awkward? Because we don't go out there with the expectation of a man doing that. Like, I don't know how you're not missing the key that you're literally picking on this girl for fucking clicks. It's okay to just say that not everyone should engage in casual sex. That's not what you're saying, though. You're picking a specific. Remember how people used to say, why do men always talk about men's rights in the middle of a woman's rights, like, conversation? This is that. You're throwing your male opinion in here and then dragging the conversation over to you because I don't know why. I don't know why you want the intent. I don't know why you want the attention. Maybe some people lack the maturity or responsibility to handle it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Stop sending women. You could have just ended the tweet there, and that would have been. You could have talked about this all across the board with just that mentality, and you would have been fine. See, I can be charitable. I can be both sidesy. But then you followed it up with stop sending women into situations where they can't even assert a modicum of agency. Stop sending women. So what about the male immaturity that causes them to do the things like rape and sexual assault? See how easy, like, that's the simple, that's the obvious. But since you're saying it, you must know that. You must know that. So why are we pretending like that doesn't exist? If you just started your first two, obviously what the guy did was fucked up, but then the response would have been like 1/10 the size. I'm not going to preface every tweet with "Don't rape," by the way, to appease the virtue signaling virgins on this platform that think they can lecture people about sex. Like, what? Oh, God, and this is your king? The advice is, if you're truly so nervous, uncomfortable about asserting even a little bit of agency during a casual sexual encounter, you should reserve sex for probably people you are in long-term relationships with at a bare minimum for self-protection. But what if they break the boundary that was set? Wouldn't that still like be, that means women can't win, so women just shouldn't fuck. So what are men fucking? Wouldn't it just then be the man's problem? You see how easy that is to follow? Look, okay, let's try that again, just in case people missed it. If you're saying that there's a chance that if you're nervous, uncomfortable to assert this agency during a casual sexual encounter, you shouldn't do it. But if your boundary is broken by somebody that never broke it before and feels comfortable enough to break it now, wouldn't that put you in the same bracket? Can monogamous relationships not include rape? Like, I'm confused as to why this is a thing. And look, now I'm talking about it. Therefore, this is what I mean when I say the left creates the dumbest discourse, because this doesn't need to be an opinion. It doesn't need to be something that's said. But now I have to be the father again and say, maybe, whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Hold on for a second. And then he brought up somebody else's sexual assault claims. Then he reposts Jordan Peterson. Then he came at Denims, and I'm gonna end it here. Destiny, if you can't set boundaries, you probably shouldn't have casual sex frequently. People can't think on their own. Destiny is victim blaming, and that's exactly where I'm gonna end that. That's exactly where I'm gonna end that. See, I've proved that he's talking about that. And his fans create a rapid discourse on this subject that we're all gonna just forget about in a couple days. But I'm not. Welcome to The Shift. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified. Say what up to my man Vin Diesel. I'm out of here.